Hello guys, it's Austin from the KotLC fanbase, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another KotLC video. Today I'll be ranking KotLC characters again with a little bit of a twist, and I'm going to actually be ranking KotLC characters that are adults. I'll be ranking 10 KotLC adults. The 10 KotLC adults I will be ranking are Grady, Adeline, Alvin, Sandor, Lady Gisela, Lord Casius, Mr. Furcal, Orly, Bronte, and Della. Before we get into this video, make sure you go down and drop a like if you enjoy these KotLC ranking videos. Subscribe down below. In our analytics, it shows us that only 30% of you guys are subscribed, so please subscribe down below. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. And share this video with anyone that's read KotLC. Alright, let's get into the video. Okay, so at number 10, I'm putting Lord Casius. Lord Casius is definitely my number 10 on this one because how he acts towards Keefe. All of you guys in the comments down below, I know that everyone likes Keefe and everyone loves Keefe's character, and Lord Casius is always being mean to Keefe, and Lord Casius has been better, but for the fact that in the first book, he's been really cold to Keefe, I think he's being a little bit more helpful now while like trying to help the Black Swan out and trying to make Keefe a better empath, but it can't disregard for, you know, him being mean to Keefe at the start of the book series. He's getting back my respect by, you know, being a little bit more open and helpful to Keefe. So yeah, it just basically, I don't like Lord Casius because of how he's mean to Keefe. That's the only reason, and it's just a strong reason. You can't really argue with that. So let's go into number 9. Okay, at number 9, I have Alvin, and this also has to deal with how he interacted with Keefe. Alvin told Keefe to actually stay away from Sophie and let Fitz have a relationship with her. So that kind of makes me dislike Alvin, and I see all you guys in the comments, you know, hating on Alvin because he's not letting the So-Keefe ship happen because he's selfish to his own son, Fitz. He does have some benefits on him and some pluses about him, but it doesn't outweigh that huge negative that he did to the So-Keefe shipper. Yes, he did search and actually find Sophie. He got her situated with the elves and the new world that she has to live in. He's had her back, and you know his common catchphrase, no reason to worry. I mean, he's a good character, but that thing that he did to Keefe, you know, hasn't rubbed off me yet, and I'm still kind of mad at him for doing that. So that's number 9. Let's get into number 8. So at number 8, I'm going to be putting Adeline. I put Adeline at number 8 because she's always worrying about Sophie. She does have a cool ability, the conjure ability, the snap, and she has anything that she needs as long as she knows the location. But as I read the first book, which I am doing right now, I'm looking and I'm seeing like she doesn't have much mental stability since Jolie's death, and that kind of causes a little bit of a dampering on the series. Most of the series she's sad about Jolie's death. I think that's just in the past, and she has to move on to her new adoptive daughter, Sophie. She hasn't been too overprotective of Sophie, and she's let Sophie do a lot of dangerous things in the book, which is good. But overall, whenever Adeline comes up in the story, I just remember of somebody that's just sad about Jolie's death, and she never really let go of it, and that's why I just kind of had a little damper on the series. So let's go into number 7. At number 7, I'm going to be putting Orly. We do get a lot more scenes with Orly in the last book, Legacy. So the secret we get revealed in Legacy is that Orly is Sophie's biological mother, and that was a huge secret we wanted revealed since the start of the book, and Sophie is questioning who her mother is, and we finally figured it out after 8 books of waiting. So that was kind of a relief for me. At the start of the book, you know, Orly was really trying to help her out, and some of the counselors were against her, but Orly was one of the counselors that was with Sophie and on her side, and convinced other counselors to also be on her side. Without Councillor Orly, we wouldn't have a book series where Sophie could be free to fight the Neverseen and save the world, so I'm so glad that Orly is in the series. So let's go on to number 6. At number 6, I put Della. Della is a really fun character because she has my favorite ability, Vanisher, and actually she used her Vanisher ability to have probably one of my favorite scenes in the KotLC series. And this scene is in the Neverseen book where they're about to hop on this animal that's going to transport them underwater, and they need these things that help them breathe underwater. And Biana's just standing there like, she's really nervous, and she's like, I need 2. They're all like, why do you need 2? And then Della just comes out of nowhere. She's vanishing the whole time. She's such a powerful vanisher, and she surprised everyone, and she somehow convinced Mr. Furcal to go to Alvin with them. She's been a motherly figure to Sophie throughout the years, and been a little bit more a comfortable person to talk to outside of Adeline or Grady, and just have a motherly figure to talk to. So that's number 6. Let's get into my top 5 characters. So in number 5, we have Lady Gisela, and you might be all asking like, Austin, why would you put a villain in top 5? But me, Joey, and Troy all think that Lady Gisela as a villain, she's the best villain we've ever had. She is so surprising. We all thought that Lady Gisela was Keefe's favorite parent, but then no. Out of nowhere, she has this legacy for Keefe, and she's this evil person that we never knew, and it took us a long time to actually know that Lady Gisela is a villain. It also really develops the story, because we know that Keefe has a lot of weird memories about Lady Gisela, and he has to comb through them every night to actually figure out what Gisela's plan is. And now we're gonna have an interesting book 8.5, and this was Lady Gisela's action that she did. She combined this new strange power that Keefe will get. I think that this is the number 1 never seen character that's ever been in the book series, and it's like not a villain that you can't hate. I mean, yeah, she just put Keefe in a coma and did some evil things, but overall she's a funny villain that you can always rely on to create more plot in the story and develop it more. So let's go on to number 4. At number 4, I put Mr. Furcal, or should I say Mr. Furcals. He's such a great character that Shannon Messenger wrote that he should die. She realized that the series can't go on without Mr. Furcal, so she just said that he has a twin. I don't know if Shannon Messenger had him dying and having a twin in like the original plan, but I think that Mr. Furcal is just a great character that she knew she needed him so she can continue her story, because she knew that Mr. Furcal was really needed. He's the one that protected Sophie through her childhood in the human world and actually started triggering her telepathy and triggering her abilities to making her the most powerful elf that any elf has seen. Mr. Furcal doesn't really include Sophie on much information on what their Project Moonlark is. She doesn't get that much information, but I think that Mr. Furcal keeps that from her to actually keep her safe. And I was genuinely sad when I thought Mr. Furcal was actually dead and never going to come into the book series, because I knew that Sophie wouldn't have that guidance that Mr. Furcal gives her. Even though he doesn't give her that much information, he still gives her guidance, and I was really sad that Sophie couldn't get that anymore, and I'm glad that Mr. Furcal had a twin. And then also another thing is that I'm a twin, so if Mr. Furcal is a twin, I can relate to that. Alright, we're getting to the top 3 now. And at number 3, I'm going to be putting Grady. I think Sophie's best adoptive parent. Grady is really looking out for her and so caring and so worried and nervous that she's going to, do anything to mess up her life. He's really protective over her, and I love Grady's ability, Mesmer. It's really strong ability and very rare. Joey made a theory video on this if you want to check it out, but he thinks that Keefe will become a Mesmer, and that will force Grady to teach Keefe the ability and get him stronger with his ability, and that would actually open up Keefe, because Grady is more fond of Keefe, and he would realize how Keefe is, and he wouldn't be like that boy every time he sees him. All right, let's get into number 2. At number 2, I'm going to be putting Sandor. Sandor is probably my favorite bodyguard in the series. Sophie's the first character ever to get a bodyguard, and she first gets Sandor, and he is really funny, and there's some funny scenes with him in there. I think that how he's willing to die for Sophie is really incredible, and he's had injuries for Sophie. He fell off a cliff for Sophie. He is really protective and the best bodyguard that you can imagine. He is always alert, and we get to see that firsthand because Sophie's the main character, and we see the story through her perspective, so we get to see a lot of Sandor and Sophie moments. So let's get into my number 1 favorite character. Alright guys, so this is my favorite character, and this might take you by surprise, but it is actually Councillor Bronte. He is a really funny character, and you can also read that through the series and how much he's changed. The first book, he wants to get Sophie out of Foxfire, and in later books, he's riding Greyfall. So he really changes his mind about Sophie, and he's actually really funny to read about. He used to be the counselor that most hated Sophie, and now he's one of the counselors that most loves Sophie. We get to see that through Bronte actually teaching her inflicting, and they're starting to get a closer bond, and I think that that's my favorite counselor is going to have to be Councillor Bronte. And if anyone was Sophie's dad, I would definitely want it to be Councillor Bronte because of how much he cares for Sophie and actually has a companionship with Sophie. Alright, so that's why Bronte is my favorite character. Now let's get into the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Drop a like down below, subscribe to our channel, because remember, only 30% of you guys are actually subscribed. So please go down below and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with a friend. Join our channel to get exclusive member-only perks for our channel. Comment down below who your favorite KotLC adult is. Alright guys, see you next time. Peace.